Alright, I want to make this video in support of Adam Kokesh and Adam versus Man and the movement. And I want to read something out of the Bible, and this will be unexpected, and I'll explain. Howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste, and it shall come to pass that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as an harlot. Take a harp, go about the city, thou harlot that hast been forgotten. Make sweet melody, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. And it shall come to pass, after the end of 70 years, that the Lord will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. And her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness to the Lord. And that is Jehovah, the Tetragrammaton there. It shall not be treasured up nor laid waste. For her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before the Lord, to eat sufficiently, and for durable clothing. And if people didn't get it already, I'm saying that Tyre and this, Tyre and what it's talking about there. And there's other passages about Tyre that indicate this also, that it is the cannabis plant. And it is a thing that has been forgotten. And it's 70 years now since Hemp for Victory. And who remembered it? I mean, the evidence is there, folks. I'm not trying to be cocky about it, like, somebody's wrong. No, we all forgot. We didn't know. Even the people that loved and appreciated the plant didn't see the extent of it. Even, I believe, unless, I haven't heard anything yet, but I even believe that it was even forgotten in our oral history that is held up through the original people here on this continent, Turtle Island. But when they came to the Americas, Canada is the land of the canna. And the cane and the cannabis and the calamus. It was all this plant. It was even known as a vine, and a reed, and a shaft, and a tree, and an oil tree. The olive tree is not the only olive tree. This plant has been like hated by our enemy or something, because they don't want us to have it. And for the few people that might not know, that plant, as the hemp plant, as for food and fiber, and I mean, there is hemp plastics, there is hemp technology that is unbelievable that's going on right now in place on the earth. The knowledge is there to just do incredible things with that plant. And it would fuel any economy that could grow it and process it for what they want. That's what we need. I mean, it is literally a money tree growing in people's yards. There's even a passage that they didn't use it for money in the Bible. And, and I would say it's probably should be kind of the standard of the value of money. Not even a gold standard. When we really end up figuring it all out, gold has certainly got a value. It's going to maintain some value regardless. As currency, it was even traditional along with silver. But the hemp plant, the cannabis plant, that male and that female peculiar plant, that also provided oil for anointing the Christ, the Messiah. It is the oil of the anointing. And people can just start doing their own studies and looking their research up if they want to know. You can start by looking at Kanabosum in the Hebrew, which is sweet calamus in the King James. It's also other things, sweet cane and other things in the King James. You can find it all over in there. But it is a cannabis plant, and it was there, and we forgot it. Something was going to be forgotten. There's a passage that is really amazing, because if you read earlier in other texts that talk about Tyre and Tyrus, it was a big shipping industry, and they needed the cannabis for the ships. Simple as that, and for the sackcloth and all that stuff. And here in this country, I mean, the amount of people who have been arrested and gone to jail and lost property and had families broken up, and cops come into their house in the middle of the night while they're naked in bed together, couples made to stand there in shame, and ruined marriages, and unbelievable things they got where they felt like, they didn't understand each other anymore, or their partner didn't understand them, even though they were going through it together. And it's been horrible. And what Adam's going makes it look kind of calm and harmless, and like, they hold him, they let him go, we survived this. I'll tell you what's really killing this country is not putting the people in jail. That's doing a lot of destruction, but the major part of the destruction is happening to everybody, because it's not in the medicine, it's not in the food. And Adam's out there, he's pushing it, and he knows what he's doing. And I would encourage people who thought they would never support something like that, to take notice. Don't be ashamed with other, like you're going to become a conformist or something, and that's too much in the world for you. We're all in this together, and I'm going to send this to Adam versus the Man if I can, and I'm not, I got so much to say, evidence from what the feud was between the Hatfields and the McCoys, and the eradication of the passenger pigeon, things in history that have happened connected with the eradication of the cannabis plant. And that was going on a long time before the hemp for victory. I mean, it was quite eradicated quite a bit by that time. For decades, really, there was only a hemp industry in Kentucky. That was about the end of it, and they had them providing some hemp still to bale cottons until they started baling the cottons with metal. They had to grow a hemp to bale cotton. Ain't that something? That was what some of the last legal hemp was growing for, other than the hemp for victory. But the Kentucky crops. But I mentioned the passenger pigeon. And, you know, we heard about how there were these huge flocks that would just cover the sky. And, you know, I'm sure that they probably were awesome to some people and very undesirable to others. And if something like that comes in, they sure could wipe out some crops. But, you know, I understand that they lived on the hemp seed, that they wouldn't breed without hemp seed, and that through eradicating the hemp is how they really got rid of the passenger pigeon. And there were a lot of, you know, right cross country, shoulder to shoulder, go across the land and pull up the cannabis. It happened. It was eradicated. Eventually it was eradicated from our textbooks and our history books and and then from our minds. We forgot. Everybody forgot. Everybody. And we're all in this together now. And Adam's a spear point. At least at one spear going into this whole thing, and I think he's very, very smart, and he knows what he's doing. And you know, I'm asking for people to actually support him. If you don't know what to do, you can support with a little bit of financial. You know, for a lot of people, it's just a click of the mouse, basically. But ultimately, the real support that's needed is support the cause. Support the cause in any way, just by researching and getting to understand. And ask questions to other people rather than try to tell them things. A lot of times, just by asking them questions, ask them what they think. And then you can tell what you think without trying to, you know, be bossy about it. It ain't fun waking up in the dark when there's something out there and you don't know what it is, and that's why a lot of people don't want to wake up. And so just go easy and try to understand people. We got to come back together. We're all blown apart already, as far as I'm concerned. That they ended up splitting us apart. Not one stone was left upon another. That's the way I look at it. And now we're have the opportunity to be individuals, which is the only way to sovereignty anyways, because being built in that collectivism is not the way. And it has to be in our independence. And everything leads back to the Declaration of Independence as far as this country goes. And you can be a slave to the law, or you can be a master over the law. And the law is there to serve, and it's going to serve one way or another. But I look at people that cling to the Constitution as slaves to the law, because that Constitution's already been ripped out of too many of our hands, and once you're violating, it's broken, it's broken. And it's not the same, and it doesn't protect you. And as people realize that the Constitution is ripped out of their hands, then they stand on the Declaration of Independence, and they look at the fundamentals, what the Constitution was there to protect us, to guard for us, these rights, inalienable rights, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. George Washington also wanted there to be medicine, right to medicine. And, here the greatest medicine for mankind is illegal in this country. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. We can do better by just acknowledging the truth. And just by acknowledging the truth, that's the absolute first, it's essential. It's an essential step. And I don't know what else to say right now other than, it was cool listening to Jordan Page there, and I kind of appreciated the off-sound quality because then you like it for what the music is saying, and you're listening to what it's saying, and that's what's important. It's like, a real true message doesn't have to be radio friendly. And I thought that was really cool. It was real nice. I'm going to listen to it again, and I would encourage people to watch that interview. I don't recall the name. I think it does say Jordan Page on there, and it's an episode of Adam versus Man. And so I'm throwing something out there pretty interesting. I'm saying that cannabis plant is in our history. It's part of a life in a lot of ways that we didn't know, and that we did forget. We forgot this thing. It's like no wonder all this stuff happened to us. No wonder all this sickness and all this. We can sit there and go about all the toxins, but I already know that when you have what you need, the other stuff don't hurt you. And we didn't have what we needed. And when we have what we need, then nothing can hurt us. Not the economy, not the, and the cannabis is part of it, and the sovereignty is part of it, and also the issuing of money. It's a big deal. It's supposed to be. It's really a sacred thing, and it should be by the people, for the people. We issue out our money. We don't have to pay it back except for so much to cover the infrastructure and the cost of having the money issued and made. And wealth can be built, and you don't need to actually issue all that much money. There's a lot more to it because it gets issued across the board. Everybody gets the money. It actually ends up being an equal right, one of these rights that we are endowed by our Creator, inalienable right, and it is for food, clothing, and shelter. There's so much that is issued to cover just the basic need, and then when that person spends that coin on that apple, eats the apple, the coin's still in the system, and if they got to pay it back, then the coin's no longer in the system, and somebody else has the coin. That's what's happened. The cards were stacked really bad, man. It's amazing when I look at it. It's like, gosh, it wasn't just a 10% rip off or 50 or 100 or it's like we've been at 1,000% ripped off, or 100,000%. I mean, we have been ripped off of hundreds of trillions of dollars, and there's nothing close to that kind of wealth by the people, especially by the 90% of the people. I mean, they virtually can't hardly have any wealth. They're, blessed to have some real estate equity or something. Most people that would say that they own their house, well, no, they don't. And that's a shame. It never should be that way. And it's a big racket. And Adam knows this stuff, man. He's smart. He's going for it. And somebody said he's throwing his body on the levers, the system. He's making them do something. He's making them do something. I understand that, but if people aren't carrying on that message and spreading it and supporting that and being a voice with him and for him, it doesn't matter if they keep him or let him go, because that's already happened to millions of us in this country, and nothing was changed. And so this is a really important opportunity, and Adam knows he is taking a risk, because will it be for nothing or won't it? And if it's for nothing, that robs him of honor, and we can't do that. This is the final revolution. It is happening. It is on, and it's going on. The 4th of July is coming up in 2014. And all right, Adam versus the man. Got respect for you, bro. Keep going.